Hey guys, I'm back here with my 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is the V8 limited edition. So what's going on today is I've got a couple of transmission lines that were leaking. I haven't really seen them leak much during the summer, but during the winter I lost about a quart of transmission fluid over 2 or 3 months, so it's not anything too severe, but I wanted to get it taken care of. So I wanted to replace the 2 pipes down there. You can see these 2 black ones right there. So I went ahead and purchased the transmission line, but this is what it looks like underneath. And then these here on the back plug into the transmission, and then at the front it plugs into the transmission cooler. So to get to that, you have to take out these little plastic rivet, and to take these out all you need is a knife, and you just pop these plastic rivets out, and then you can take out this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of them. So take all of those out, and then you should be able to take the grill down like so. So the lines are up there at the front of the car, and then they run down here, and over here you can see them running down, and they run down all the way back there, where you can see them plug into the transmission. Right there, and right there. And there's just 2 quick disconnect lines right there. So the problem is that this here, I can't really get my hand, like this is all I can do. I can get my hand in here and get this one. That one shouldn't be a problem, but then the one that's all the way at the top that you can't really quite see is somewhere all the way up there, and it would be very hard to get that quick disconnect off and take it out. So what I'm doing instead is the following. So since I know that the leak starts right here at this little area on the hose, on the existing hose, what I did is I just cut the front part off of the pipes. That way I don't have to worry about the whole back end, which doesn't have a problem. And then I went to AutoZone and bought a coupler here, which is just a vacuum connector, and some hose clamps. And so I'm just gonna cut the hose under the car, put this in here, put it into the other end, and put the clamps on. And that should hopefully fix the issue for just a few dollars, rather than taking it to the dealer or a shop and having to pay hundreds of dollars for this job. So after you've taken all of these little plastic rivets out, you just pull this down. Mine's being held by a zip tie there. Yours might be held down by some other stuff, but basically you should be able to get to this box here, and then you can just wiggle this box and get it taken out. Then you'll have these little plastic things, and then there's this metal tab here. Now if you get something nice and pointy, you can usually get right under this and then just run it up and around like this and get this clip out. Make sure you don't lose this clip, otherwise this won't be tight and you'll have a leak later on. So make sure to use your other hand to grab this clip here. Next, you can just get a good pair of scissors and just cut those two lines there. So you can see there, I already patched these up, but this little patch that I did wasn't working out very well. So what I'm gonna do is cut right there, the middle, and cut over here, and then just put a straight hose there. I cut the lines. As you can see, there's a little bit of fluid that leaked out, so make sure you have some ATF +4 transmission fluid just in case. After you're done here, you can then just take out the ends here and pull out 2 hoses here. Then you can use a Dremel and cut right here on both of these hoses. So most of the leaks happen right here at this point. Either the hose gets screwed up here or it gets too hot and comes out a little bit and it starts leaking. This here is from a new hose that I bought, but as mentioned, this little coupler that I'm using here, I'm not very confident in it, and the transmission feels a little weird. So I think that coupler is just too small and it's not letting enough pressure through. So my idea is to just cut it right here and then cut it on the other end where this same bracket is at, and then just put a regular rubber hose from this end to the other end and use these same clamps to clamp it down here and over here. But yeah, you'll need a Dremel with a metal cutting blade and basically just do a straight cut right there. So you should end up with something like this. I would suggest you run these through water because there's probably some metal shavings in there that you don't want to carry on downstream to the transmission. So wash these out and then do the same thing but under the car to the other ends, and try to get as close as possible to the end here, as you can see there. Alright, so in order to prevent damage to this hose here, I'm gonna go ahead and drain the cooling system, which you can do with a bucket here, and then there's just this plug here. So make sure the engine's not hot when you do this or you're gonna get burned. So just empty out the radiator like this, and then once that's done, you can remove this hose without any problem. So there, I've removed that radiator hose. That way I have a lot more room here to work with. And then I can just cut those 2 lines right there and put the hoses back on and be done with this. So there we go. You can see the 2 hoses completely clean cut there. And then I'll just stick this hose here and then stick it to the other side, put clamps on both sides, and then that should be good enough. So to measure your cut, you'll want to first off put the rubber hose on these 2 metal hoses here and then put them in place, and then you can go under the car and make sure that they are properly lined up. So the way I've got it set up here is this one goes to the top of the cooler, and it's gonna go into this top hose, which actually ends up switching sides and goes to the bottom, and then you can see the hoses all the way back there. So you can see the 2 hoses running right there. The top hose is the one that's going to end up there at the bottom, and then the bottom hose on the cooler is going to be the one that hooks up to the top. I'm not sure if that's the correct way, but honestly I don't think it matters. The way I figure is that more than likely the hot fluid is coming from the top of the transmission, so I'll let it run up on the top hose and then end up at the bottom of the cooler here, and then gravity can help the liquid get pulled back down to the bottom at the pan. So there, as you can see, now the two clamps are in place there, and again this bottom one is going to the bottom of the heater there, but it actually goes to the top of the transmission, and then this top one goes to the top up there, but it actually goes to the bottom down here. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the hose up here, and then make sure the metal clamps are up and secure at the top. So now that you've got it set up, you can actually go ahead and unplug these, because we need to re-plug them back in with the clip. So for these clips, there's 3 points, as you can see here, that go towards the middle, and there's 3 points on here that you have to line this up into. So it'll be something like that, except for with that point right there. I'm gonna need my 2 hands here to fix this, but you get the point. There's 1 point there, 1 there, and 1 over there, and you just gotta get the 3 points in place. So there, after you have those clips back in place, you should be able to move a little bit. You can get your hoses here, and make sure you get this plastic part up here, and basically you just plug it in. This is, let's see, this is the top one and the bottom one there, and you'll know when it's fully plugged in because it'll click in, and then you can just put this and slide it over the tops to secure this. So there you go, that's secure. You can tell it's secure when this lip gets over that clip, because this clip here will prevent it from being pulled out again. And then once you have that, you can just slip this plastic piece over the top. And do the same thing with this one. So that's it. As you can see there's the 2 hoses going back. There's the radiator hose back in there. I've already topped this off with the coolant. You won't be able to fit all the coolant in here, so just put the excess in here, and as the car heats up and gets the coolant through the engine, it should suck up coolant from here. So the last thing you want to do is check your transmission fluid and make sure that's topped off. You might not be able to tell if the engine's not hot. So if you collected transmission fluid, then just put back whatever you were able to collect, as long as it's not dirty, and then drive it around, and after the engine's heated up, then you can check it while it's in park. So if you emptied out the radiator, make sure you take the car out for a drive and you park it on a slight uphill, and then just let it fill this up to the top. And as you can see there, the car is drinking the water from the reservoir here. Once it's done, then you can top this off, and then the radiator should be filled up all the way. So here it is just a few seconds later. Now I'm going down this hill. So now it's had plenty of time to get all the air out of here, and we can top this off. We should be good to go. But that's basically it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, found it helpful, please remember to like, comment, favorite, or share the video. All the parts that were used in this repair are going to be listed down in the video's description. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.